2010 was a great year from an M&A perspective for the ARM industry because it was the year in which strategic and financial buyers actually came back to the market. They were motivated to come back through a combination of factors. First and foremost, improved financial performance among many of the ARM companies, predominantly collection agencies. But we actually saw improvement with certain debt buyers and other companies in the sector. Lenders who finance these deals came back to the market in a big way in 2010, and we saw lending multiples increase, which actually slightly added value to enterprise valuations.
Absolutely.
And then finally, we saw improving economic conditions. And these conditions gave comfort to buyers that now is a good time to buy into the marketplace.
You know, it was interesting. I think we would both agree that we saw all sorts and all types of buyers in the marketplace in 2010. We saw evidence of that during the first quarter of 2011 as well. For example, as Mark indicated, strategic and financial buyers really reemerged in 2010. We saw a lot of activity among those folks in early and mid 2000s. But certainly in 2010 we saw indication of that as well. But we also saw industry players making add-on acquisitions to their existing business as well. And in those cases, it was smaller companies that they were able to fold in, and in some cases, distressed companies still were reeling from the recessionary times and feeling the impact, and they had to improve their position one way or the other. And in this case, deciding to complete a transaction on their account and fold into a larger player.
Yeah, but I was happy to see that in 2010 the number of distressed deals dropped significantly from 2009. A number of the companies who might have been in distress in 2009 actually turned the corner in 2010. They were able to sustain their profitability, improve their overall performance within their client bases, and really better position themselves for future growth.
And there's no question about that, and I think coupled with their improved financial performance was the improvement in overall valuations and upticks in the value that were placed on these businesses. And also slight improvements in the structure of some of these transactions as well. As their conditions improved, it was reflected in the types of deals that we saw in 2010 and early part of 2011 as well.
Absolutely. We're seeing this trend continue in 2011. Now, Q1 in 2011 was relatively quiet compared to 2010 overall. Okay, actually the same number of deals got done in Q1 of 2011 as Q1 of 2010, but the total deal value was substantially less. No negative reasons why. It was just the nature of when deals close. It was the nature of what type of buyers were actually out in the marketplace doing the deals. In the first quarter, we saw a lot of healthcare-focused deals get done, and these were not being done by financial buyers. These were being done by larger industry and strategic buyers. That happens to be a very attractive market for that buyer pool.
I think, just to piggyback that comment, looking forward, and really even right now as we sit going into second quarter, the types of deals that we see are going to get done are really going to run the gamut of all types of collection agencies. There's interest in the commercial world. There's interest certainly in the consumer world, and we continue to see the interest in the consumer world. We're seeing it in healthcare, as you just emphasized. Other markets such as government, okay, and all facets of government, from the federal government, U.S. Department of Ed continues to attract attention, state and local government as well. And even student loans.
Absolutely. And
student loans in all areas. But that doesn't mean that bank card and credit card doesn't continue to have the interest of the investment community as well. It certainly does, and they're going to look very closely at those companies and see how they're performing and see how they continue to grow in the markets that they service.
And I would argue that any owner right now who has any interest whatsoever in selling should consider selling this year, because there is so much interest from the buyer community. And there is interest in every kind of deal that's available out there in the marketplace. I don't care if you're an owner of a company with 500 people or 5 people. I don't care if you're the you're the owner, the chief salesperson, the chief bottle washer, everything. There are buyers out there looking for those kind of companies, and they're motivated right now. Why? For a couple of reasons. Number one, they want to diversify into different markets, and number two, they want to augment their own organic growth. One of the unfortunate challenges right now, despite improving economic conditions and financial performance, is a lot of companies, when they get to a certain size, they're stymied to figure out organic growth opportunities. So acquisitions really help them out tremendously.
I couldn't agree with you more, and especially when you're not seeing the kind of growth that you're looking for on an organic basis to really supplement that kind of growth with an acquisition strategy. It's so complementary, it just makes all the sense in the world.